catching 15 fucking fish with the fucking mutation that's super easy to get because there's a whole fucking area to get it. And all you have to do is get mutation on a rod. And then if you want to go even a
What's
step
that?
further, you can do a fucking mutation surge and you can get it in no time, and it's a just blatantly better rod than the Oni rod. And one of the things that you have to do to get the Oni rod, if you actually go and do it, is the fucking shiny sparkling wrath floppy.
Yep, if you don't buy it from the black market.
If you don't buy it from the black market or get it from somebody. Like, what? It's it blows my mind, and so yeah, it just blows my mind the decisions that these kids are making for their game.
Literally, kid.
I mean, yeah, sometimes I have to stop and remind myself that these are young. I mean, you could call them young adults. Granted, I
Mm,
mean, they're doing better off in life than I am. So, but as a gamer who's played quite a few games, it confuses me some of the decisions that they make and some of the actions that they choose
to
to
take.
take.
It it literally is illogical.
Yeah. So I don't think it should have been that easy to get this rod. And that's coming from a self-admitted lazy person. I should not have gotten a rod that is better than the Oni rod that easily. Now, when I say better, I mean as in its stats are better. Not that it's the mutations multiplier is better, because I'm sure it's not. But
So let's
it's
look that up real quick. Let's go here.
got higher luck. It's actually got resistance on it. So, I mean,
So really
the
making stop
only thing
typing.
that's better between the two is that the Oni rod has a plus 70 progress speed, which kind of gets balanced out by the fact that it has negative infinity fucking resistance or resilience. So, I mean, doesn't always necessarily constitute that it's easier to use because the progress speed is going faster. Because if the fish is going fucking haywire, it's not always, it kind of balances itself out. And the lure speed is really high. But fuck me, you use the right bait, like using Luminous, which is what I primarily use for most things. Um, there's basically no lure speed. Actually, there is, in fact, no having to fucking shake at all with this rod.
So Levitus is times 7, Sacratus is 7.7, and Puritus, which is a very small chance, is 10.7 times. Now the question is that after the nerfs? I do not know.
Potentially. So then what's
And Glebus.
Glebus? I feel like it's got to be the only way that they're justifying it being
Ah,
so easy to
so
obtain.
both Levitus and Sacratus are 7. Glebus is also better than the main two that you get out of Oni. It is times 8. You
So,
very
so they
rarely
didn't
get
even.
Puritas, so I wouldn't really count Puritas because that is a
Yeah,
very small chance. So times
but I
8
get
for
Levitas
Glebus,
constantly.
right? You get Levitas all the time, and you very small chance that you where you get even Sacratus. I don't think I've ever really gotten Puritas. I don't think I've
I've
ever
gotten
seen
it
Puritas.
very few times,
Maybe
and
like once or twice.
yeah,
Um, but Glebus you get quite often, so I'm not gonna really count um Puritas and the whether of combine, not combining, but whether or not Oni versus the new rod. I'm gonna say the new rod all the way around is better than Oni for a much easier quest.
yeah. I mean, it was insanely easy. I mean, like, so
Which
I
goes
don't get
back
it.
to though, right? And this is where I fail to understand some of the things. One of the biggest arguments people had is that Dreambreaker, in their opinion, should not have been better than Tryhard because the quest was easier, quote unquote easier. Which again, I don't think their opinions should have been validated because half the people didn't even do the fucking quest for the cultists. They ran around and asked and begged for the items. They then had the items handed to them to be able to actually finish it because they didn't fucking do it. So I, who have done both quests, both for the Tryhard and for the Dreambreaker, I honestly think that the Cultist Slayer quest was a lot harder. There was a lot more to it. It was a lot more tedious, especially before they even implemented Solar Blaze onto Wicked Fang, before that even existed. And I am not a player who had the original rod that had Solar Blaze. I had to do it the hard way with the fucking eclipses. I think that was a much harder quest. So for everybody who ran around saying that it wasn't fair to have Dreambreaker be higher mutation or multiplier than Tryhard because the quest wasn't quote unquote harder, I think Dreambreaker should have been A because it's a newer one. It's newer content. Newer content should be harder or be better, not harder.
Yeah,
There's one. Two, the quest was harder. The quest for Tryhard was a fucking easy ass quest. It was not difficult. Now, running the rod itself is a whole nother ball game, and that's a separate conversation. The rod itself is beyond difficult to run, but that was not the argument that was being had. Now, between Oni and the alien rod or the whatever blade, it was a much easier quest than Oni, and it's a better rod than Oni. Now, that's two different conversations here because, yes, the quest was much easier. It legit easier in this particular sense. And should it have been better because it was easier? That is the conversation that we're having. However, on the flip side, it is also newer content.
yeah,
So it does seem like they do logically generally go with the newer rods are better than old rods. So all of the rods that they have
I
produced
can
so
imagine.
far, like
But it should have been a harder quest. I shouldn't have just
right,
caught had to catch 15 any 15 fish with the
but there
Glebus
was more to it
mutation.
that I don't know if you do remember, but there was the three pieces for the
Yeah, yeah, there were
translator.
the three pieces.
But that was still also super fucking easy.
Yeah,
Um
but
and the first quest, the one Glebus, and then 15 more Glebus. Like it was all the same thing
yeah,
essentially for the quest. It was a back to back of the same thing. Oh, I catch one, now I catch 15 more. Like there wasn't anything a diversity into that quest except for the middle part of catching the three pieces for the translator. Why am I getting abducted again? But again, it was also newer content. So on that
I can't tell you.
standalone, it should have been better than any of the other odds, which in that
Yeah,
case it is, but it shouldn't have been as easy as it was. However, there is a however. So they are clearly standing on because even Merlin's rod is better than the older rods. but none of them are going above Fab and Tryhard because the whole community bitched, moaned, groaned, and complained. But none of them should be under those two. Like, that is the problem I'm having. And again, Tryhard's quest was beyond fucking easy. It was not hard to do. And again, I've done both of them. If the game stopped putting out more content, keeping those two at the top would be fine. If you're going to continue putting out content, at some point something needs to be better than those two. Because at this point, there's no real reason to do any more of the content if it's only going to be those two are going to be the best. But again, I 100% agree that quest shouldn't have been that fucking easy if you're going to put it over Oni or anything else. But so it's like they're trying to walk a line, right? Like they're holding by new content should be better than old content. New rods should be better than old rods. But trying to keep an old outdated rod still at the front.
Yeah, still at the
Even if the
top.
quest was harder.
Which is really what it is. It's not so much as like, it's more like they're trying to do what developers are supposed to do for their game, which is to make better content, better items. As time goes on, is more content is created, but also they're trying to placate a bunch of whiny fucking bitches.
Right. Right.
I don't know how else to say that.
Well, I mean, I think you said it exactly what it is.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how else to say
But
that
the
other than,
funny part is, again, half those whiny ass fucking bitches don't even run the fucking try hard.
yeah, because it's too hard.
Right, because it's too hard to run. And here's the other thing, right? You, even for the quest that you yourself have admitted 100 times as being a lazy player, felt that quest was way too easy for the alien quest. Do you
Yeah, it was
realize
too
how
easy.
many people just yesterday and the day before I've had come into my stream begging to hand them the 15 Glebus fish?
What?
Mm-hmm.
Don't you have to fish them up your fucking self anyway?
Yes, you actually have to do it yourself anyways in order for it to count. Like, I could hand you the fish, but it won't complete your
It's
quest.
not gonna count. Yeah.
And that goes back to when people tell me something's trash, you literally, half the fucking player base don't know really whether or not it's trash or the significance behind half the rods because they haven't actually done it. They don't do it themselves. They run around and beg for shit nonstop and get shit handed to them. They actually haven't played the fucking game and understand the significance between half the rods and that the fact that they play into each other for the fucking quests.
Yeah. Of course, my hot hard switches aren't
Which goes
working.
back to a question I have asked all along. What's the point of playing a game if you're not actually going to play it? That is a question I really want answered. Because
Who
the
knows?
whiny ass bitches that want to complain about shit is what's ruining the gaming industry for the actual gamers, the people who enjoy playing a game. And then that's why we're stuck with shit like fucking try hard always being the best instead of a game actually progressing in a way a game needs to progress.
Yeah. It's a. And I get that they're just kids, really. I say just kids, but they're not just kids, because I mean, they're a part of a business. They're part of a very competitive business. And I think they're trying to focus too much on placating players rather than just being like, look, this is the game we made, you know, play the game or don't play the game.
Well,
If
and
they're
it's
too
not just
worried
the
about,
kids who are making this game, right? This is what's happening in the game industry all over